bang. We got ranking every track from the Kendrick Lamar Drake battle, you feel me? It went on, it passed last weekend. It was something that was legendary. We're gonna see what he ranks like from the best to the worst.
Are you ready to look at all the music from hip-hop's greatest battle? Because today, we're going to be ranking every rap war diss track from worst to best. Now, when it comes to what has went down in hip-hop recently, we've witnessed one of the craziest times that the genre ever has, as we've been watching an all-out musical battle between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. And beyond just these two titans, so many other of the biggest rappers on the planet have thrown themselves into the ring at some point with lyrical attacks of their own. So if you're ready to look at all the diss tracks and see what songs we are going to remember as some of the best disses of all time and which we hope to forget, let's waste no more time and let's get right into it. Now, kicking off this list in last place, we got Drake's The Heart Part 6, and with this song, it's hardly even a diss track and more of a defense track, as Drake just tries to clear his names of all the allegations Kendrick Lamar threw out over the course of scathing diss tracks like
The Heart, when I first heard it, I thought The Heart Part 6 was trash, I'm not gonna lie. But like now that I've heard it a few more times, he was talking, but it just wasn't a battle song. Like
Meet the Grams, and Not Like Us, and while Drake could have tried to have flipped Kendrick's words and got some momentum back in this feud, with this, he ended up making himself look like an absolute joke, as from lying about setting up Kendrick and feeding false information about him having a daughter, which was clearly just not true between the fact that Drake had no receipts, and his initial knee-jerk reaction to hearing Kendrick saying this was an Instagram story post, and beyond just this part. The way he defends himself from not being a PDF file downloader is really some of the worst things that have ever been put to paper, as from saying that he is too famous to get away with the things he's been accused of in a world where famous people are seemingly always getting away with this type of thing, or defending the girls he likes by saying he doesn't like Millie Bobby Brown after nobody even brought her name up. This song is just embarrassing, as Drake tries to defend himself with the worst rebuttals possible, and with this song being a glorified PR statement that is seemingly trying to do damage control and somehow still fails at that. For all these reasons, The Heart Part 6 is a pathetic entry that's at the very bottom of this list. Now, coming in at number 12, we got Kanye West with his Drake and J. Cole diss track with the Like That remix, and with this cut. Despite the instrumental flip of Future and Metro Boomin's Like That being one of the most insane flips of a beat in quite some time, with the choir that Ye inserts into the core of the track. When it comes to Kanye's disses on this song, in a feud where so many rappers have been jumping in, with Ye being the last rapper to enter with a diss of his own, overall it all just felt kind of pointless. Looking at this track, it's honestly hilarious that Kanye comes on saying that he has Kendrick Lamar's back, like Ye dropping bars like this are really gonna help Kendrick in any way possible, and while Ye's little jab at J. Cole is funny, and his few lines at Drake gave him some ground to stand on considering that he is now an independent artist free of industry control, with so many filler bars that say absolutely nothing, the timing of when this track dropped, and the things Kanye said about how obsessed he was with Drake in an interview that followed this. All in all, the more you soak this song in, it just feels like Kanye is trying to get some attention, so overall, while this diss isn't reputation changing or damaging for Ye, it's just so forgettable, and for that reason, it's number 12 on this list. And coming in at number 11, we got another Drake track, this time with his highly controversial tailor-made freestyle, and while this diss track was never meant to be an all-out attack, and was just a jab to taunt Kendrick Lamar, between the use of AI, Tupac, and Snoop Dogg, to Drake trying to bait Kendrick to drop as soon as possible, as he said that he had absolutely nothing to say, and that's why he was taking so long to respond. As this beef has progressed, and Tupac's estate sent him a cease and desist, and Kendrick seeing Drake seemingly disrespect Pac by using this fake version of him only fueled him to attack him even harder, and of course, despite Drake's bluff, Kendrick clearly having a lot to say about him as this feud has went on. Overall, this track has aged horribly since it dropped, as everything Drake did here seemingly worked against him and pushed him into the corner that he's currently in, and beyond just its effect in the beef itself. While we are looking at these songs as diss tracks, despite the use of fake versions of Pac and Snoop being a creative battle tactic to taunt Kendrick, the idea of one of the biggest artists in the world using the biggest threat in the music industry's future on a song sets a dangerous precedent, so overall, for this mess of a track aging like milk and just making the future of the entire music industry a little more scary. Tailor-Made Freestyle is at number 11 on this list. Now coming in at number 10, we have another controversial diss track with J. Cole's 7-Minute Drill, and with this song. While initially, despite Cole's response to Kendrick Lamar's Like That verse being pretty weak between all the disses that just seemed like they were bending the truth to a place that nobody else agreed with, to the recycled bars from Jay-Z's Takeover, it still initiated what we all thought would be a back and forth between the two most iconic lyrical rappers of the last decade, but as J. Cole apologized to Kendrick 2 days after releasing this song at his Dreamville Fest. This thing aged poorly very quickly, but still, it's not as embarrassing or as lackluster as the tracks before it, so for this reason, just like in the greater feud itself, J. Cole's 7-Minute Drill is far away from being remembered as the worst part of this entire feud. Now at the number 9 spot, we got Drake's Buried Alive Part 2, and with this track, very similar to Tailor-Made Freestyle, this was not supposed to be a major moment, and with this seemingly releasing right alongside Drake's Family Matters on social media. Its only purpose was to troll, and get us ready for what Drake had really been planning, and with him parodying the Kendrick Lamar interlude from Take Care. He did a great job spinning this, and with lyrics that began to dissect Kendrick and expose why he is engaging in this feud in the first place. It definitely set things up for a strong follow-up with Family Matters, and for this song just doing its job in about as good of a way as it can get. This parody of a cut has made it all the way up to number 9 on this list. Now coming in at number 8, we got Rick Ross's Champagne Moments, and with the only official diss track from Ross in this feud. I have to commend how quickly he was able to get this response out, as after only a few hours after the release of Push-Ups, Ross showed that competition in hip-hop was alive, as he gave Drake some lyrical smoke here over a menacing instrumental and even ended up revealing to us some big things as well. Now, the pair of verses from Ross on this track are solid, from his rebuttals to some of Drake's disses to the way he talks about how the nature of Drake has changed for the worse as he has gotten deeper into the industry. Ross definitely came in and defended his name, but overall, he just doesn't articulate what he is trying to say here enough to truly create any damage, and when Ross actually makes Drake look bad here, while revealing that he turned against Drake because the OVO rapper sent another close collaborator, both his and Ross's, French Montana, a cease and desist because he didn't want to be on his album. The fact that Ross did this by just speaking in the outro and not actually rapping about it definitely holds back how effective this record is as a diss, so for this reason, while Champagne Moments is solid and shows that Ross can't be thrown around, all it manages to do is just defend his name and throw some jabs that when we look at everything in this feud, overall had such little impact on Drake. Now moving into the top 7, we are now looking at songs that we are going to be talking about for quite some time, and in this spot, we got Drake's Family Matters, and with this cut, from the 3 beat switches to some of the accusations Drake throws Kendrick's way, it is definitely an insane moment, but between its actual impact being stomped on immediately by Kendrick, which we...
Family Matters. It was smooth. I see what he was trying to do. He was trying to make it into some club shit. But like, if you gonna make it into a club song, you gotta make the song like 2-3 minutes. That song was like 8 minutes. So it's nothing they can
we will
really
talk
do
about
with
later. The many of the disses that Drake threw out being able to be proven as straight up lies with a single Google search. This track
And he addressed everybody instead of just the person he was actually battling.
Definitely starts to crack when you dissect its lyrics in full, but still, the energy from Drake on this track is amazing, as he sounds as hungry and focused as ever, and while dedicating so much of the track to dissing A$AP Rocky and guys like Future, Metro Boomin, The Weeknd, and Rick Ross, definitely makes it seem like Drake didn't have enough to go at just Kendrick here with. This is a cut that, despite its flaws, it's still an overall well-made diss that, between all of its beat switches and crazy accusations that were trying to make a stain on Kendrick, was designed to make a massive impact on the rap world and only really plundered because of one of the most unexpected moves in hip-hop history. And coming in at number 6, we got Kendrick Lamar's 616 in LA, and with this cut, as this was Kendrick's second solo track that was dropped in this beef, and it was released back-to-back with Euphoria. Drake getting 2 diss tracks dropped on his head really set the tone, as Drake got his own winning strategy used against him. And while Euphoria was a massive swing at Drake that served as a sort of overview to why Kendrick despises him in the first place, this cut serves as a more direct warning that begins to raise the pressure on Drake, as Kendrick claims that there are people in his OVO camp that are moles for him, and with Kendrick giving Drake straight bars over an Al Green sample. where his own uncle played the guitar on. And also, he jacked Drake's own AM/PM timestamp series. Overall, this was a phenomenal chess move by Kendrick that really highlights the importance of strategy in rap beef, because while this song does not have any scathing disses that the public will remember to the point where it would haunt Drake, the sheer pressure that Kendrick's sentiments were able to put into the air as he doubled down on Euphoria ended up really helping him when this beef heated up. So for these reasons, 616 in LA is at...
What Kendrick doing? Man, we're gonna say the top 5 for part 2, man. Like, subscribe, see you on the next one. We out.